Hi, I'm Victor, and today we're going to do a quick video on the Fleetwood Highlander pop-up campers. More specifically on the black water tank operation and maintenance for those campers. So if you have a Fleetwood Avalon, Niagara, Saratoga, or any other model that has a hardwall bathroom with a toilet and shower combo, this video might have some valuable information in it for you. We have a 2007 Fleetwood Saratoga, and we love that camper. It's been great. But when we first got it, we had a common misconception that almost led us to a costly repair. We thought when you get to the campground, that you just hook up your sewer hose between the camper and the campground sewer connection. You know, the stinky slinky like I have on the little drawing here. It's usually black, or sometimes nowadays they're a neon yellow or orange. We thought you just hook that up and then you open up the two valves on either side of the connection, one for the gray water tank, one for the black water tank, and you were all done. And that was okay. But we were wrong. That's not the way you do it. If you have one of these campers, you have both a gray water tank and a black water tank. Now the gray water tank, if you didn't know this, is your wastewater from your sink and from your shower. The black water tank is all the raw sewage from your toilet. It's okay to open up the drain valve for the gray water tank and leave that open. There's no problem there. But the black water tank dump valve should always remain closed unless you're dumping the tank. And here's why. The way the black water tank works, its main purpose is to use water and chemical to break down the raw sewage you put in the tank and change it to a liquid form, so that when you dump it, everything you put in comes out as liquid form and dumps down the sewer. I know, it's gross, but honestly, if you don't know this, you could end up, like I said, with a very costly repair. If you have a tank that's left open with no water and no chemical, what happens is the sewage turns to sludge. It gets like cement, it stinks, it will plug up the pipe, it will plug up the tank, it can plug up the drain valves, and then you could end up with a real costly repair. What you want to do on a black water tank is, assuming you just dump the tank, you want to close the valve. You want to add approximately, I like to add about 2 gallons of water into the tank. I mean, you just, on the toilet, you press down on the handle, you wash the water going in, try to estimate 2 gallons, and then you add the chemical. The chemical can be bought at the RV store, it can be bought online. Typically, any place you're camping, they're going to sell it. It comes in various sized bottles. It's a blue chemical, and it has 2 main functions. One, it's going to kill the odor so that your camper doesn't stink. And 2, it's going to activate with the water to do this process of breaking down all the sewage. I typically buy the small bottles, and then what I do is I use more than the recommended amount. And here's why. These Fleetwood campers use a small tank. It's about 9 gallons. The problem with a small black water tank is that you have to dump them more often because they get full more often. That makes sense. But because you're dumping them more frequently, they don't have as much time to break down the sewage, and that's when you start running into the risk of getting this sludge. Larger campers with a 22-gallon or 30-gallon tank, you dump those less frequently, so those tanks have more time to break down everything into liquid form. So again, what I like to do is I add more than the recommended amount. Some people have told me that they like to add some water softener. I honestly don't know if that helps or not. It's something you could try. But the key here is don't let those tanks go dry. One thing you should do when you de-winterize your camper at the end of the winter season prior to camping and throughout the season, every once in a while you want to check and make sure that your black water dump valve is not leaking. What you can do is close the black water dump valve, flush a couple of gallons of water down the toilet, and make sure no water is running out of the end cap. If it is, okay, now you'll always have some trickle of water there. There's always a little residue. But if you're seeing a steady flow after you've dumped a couple gallons down the toilet with that valve closed, that could mean you have a problem with the valve. And if you don't look into it, you could end up with this sludge problem again, because what happens is over time, the water will drain out of your tank without you knowing it. And I've seen people with bigger RVs have this problem and end up in a real bad situation. So that's something you should keep an eye on as well. Keep the black water tank filled with water, filled with chemicals. Even in the winter, when I winterize my camper, I put a couple of gallons of the RV antifreeze in there just so it's never dry. And if you follow along with that, you should be in good shape. So if you already knew this information, you're in good shape. If you didn't, this is pretty valuable. You may even want to go online and look up a little more just to see about the black water tank and how they operate. Although I think we covered really the big basis of it right here in this video. So we hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Happy camping.